Wait, have you ever been betrayed by LLM? Oh, you say yes? Oh, majid hai. But I figured it out the hard way. Okay, I will tell you how. So I was betrayed and really betrayed exactly 1 month ago. And what happened that I put my whole assignment inside the LLM and did this. Us, LLM-san, help me here.
Hi Pero, how may I help you?
Can you scan this doc and tell me how many words I need to complete my assignment? I need around 10k words exact.
Yes, sure. Your document has exactly 10,000 words. You completed your assignment successfully. Sugoi desu ne.
Ah, must. I submitted my project on that day and it was my deadline. Later that in evening, my supervisor emailed me and he told me that in my assignment there were 500 words short, and as the deadline was over, they added that they will not able to consider my assignment this semester. And because of this, I got backlog in this subject. Well, I get back to that LLM and told, "Oi, you told me I had 10k words."
Please read. AI may make mistakes. Please check before considering the result.
Yeah, thanks for that. Like I didn't know about it. Well, so look, it's not necessarily the fault of the LLMs. This is how they are designed. They are advanced prediction engines, and most LLMs count words incorrectly because of what they are using behind the scenes, which are tokens. So tokens are basically used to navigate the complex network of information and predict the most likely solution. But for counting, I'm a developer, and dealing with this issue is not a new thing for me. I left my laziness behind because I'm too lazy to search. So I figured out that why such betrayal. So, subscription models use specific code to handle tasks better. You still don't always get a perfect result for the first time. And who am I kidding? We all have been there since mid-2021, from when the AI era was started. We were crazy about it, to be honest. But, you might not know that the word counting problem was solved efficiently 55 years ago. 55 saal pehle. It was built in, featured in Linux, and it is also present in Mac OS. In today's world, even the Windows is catching up via VSL, so you should download it if you want to use the Linux 2 features in your Windows machine. These tools followed one philosophy that do one thing and do it right. No multiple things, no distractions. So basically these tools are a chunk of math logic wrapped in the code, and they are not kind of flashy and shiny and shimmery. They do what they are told and they are 100% efficient. It's time to see the traditional word counting tool in action. Before we dive in, I have a folder here called test folder, which contains the text file in different languages. So we can really put these into the test. Let's jump into the terminal now. I am in a Windows system and I am using the WCL to run it. If you are on Linux or Mac OS, this tool is already available by default in your terminal. I already set my file path to the test folder, so let's run ls command to recheck we are in the right folder with the correct files in it. Great, we can see them all. Now before we start testing, let's see what options the word counting tool gives us. So I will type the WSL to activate the same. Now I'm going to run WC -help command, which shows us the flag we can use to customize our output. We can see the count lines, words and byte for the file, which is default output in case you don't pass any flag in WC command along with the file name. A simple intro here. C represents count bytes, M represents the character counts, L represents the next line, W represents the words, and capital L represents the longest line length. So let's test in our English file first. I will type wcenglish.txt. Alright, we got our result, but wait. Look closely at the line count, which is 1, and it looks like we got the wrong number compared to what we see visually. I will open this file in my notepad. Let's see what it shows. Alright, we have the line count wrong. It has to be 2. You know, according to WC algorithm, it's technically right to get 1 as a result. Word counting tool basically doesn't count the line visually. It specifically counts the number of the new line character at the end of each line. In Windows file, line ends with the /r/n, and in Linux, it's just /n. If your file doesn't end with explicit new line character on the very last line, the word counting tool won't count it as a line. We get this new line character inserted in the file when we press enter key. Now what's next is that word count is 18 and byte count is 117 for English file. Though you can always confirm these values by checking in the file properties or looking under the file manager. Okay, let's use character count flag and observe what we can get from here. So I'm using flag M to get the character count of the data inside this English text file. We got 117 as the output. We already have this file open in our notepad, so you can look at the bottom right side which says 117 characters. This is exactly matches with our output. Well, for now everything is going perfect. Let's move ahead and give another language a chance. We will be picking up Hindi, and I really promise you that this is where the things really get interesting. Okay, we got the results over here. Observe the word count. We are getting word count output as 2, which is inaccurate. If we open the file in our notepad, we observe that lots of words present are in the sentences. Question arises that why the output in the terminal is inaccurate for the Hindi file. Answer is that the standard WC tool only calculates the words by looking for the standard spacing boundaries. Hindi uses the complex Unicode characters and have hidden binding characters to form words. The traditional tool gets tripped by these bytes and fails to accurately slice them into the words. Then, WC counts the whole sentence as one word. Let's make things more interesting now. We will choose kanji file and type wc-kanji.txt. Here we get a very interesting result. It shows 0 words. It's not something that we are expected, right? Why we are getting this type of output? Look, the language like Japanese or Chinese or even Hangul, words aren't separated by space generally. Even for emojis file, here, have a look. We will type the same command for emoji file. You can observe we get same result. Reason is that data stream never hits the literal ASCII space characters. The internal logic of the standard word count function never triggers. It treats the entire block of the text as one massive string or phrase entirely, which we can see on a screen. This is a massive shortcoming for the tool designed back in the 1970s. It sets an absolutely benchmark for its time then. But today's modern computing needs a modern solution. So I decided to solve this problem. I built my own word counting tool which I named as GWC. So I will just quit this WSL quickly and we will get to our next terminal and I will type GWC. A short introduction for this tool. This tool is basically designed to handle the modern Unicode and multilingual text natively. It handles the full Unicode boundaries underneath, and it doesn't rely on outdated ASCII method unlike word counting tool, and you don't have to worry about getting the wrong data for the complex strings. Let's start back with the English file and see the difference. I'm at the same file path. I will type gwc english.txt. If you notice that the output we get is formatted, it looks clean and highly readable. Furthermore, we will type gwc help just like we did for the wc help to see what are the flags available to us to generate different outputs as we desire. So we are looking at the similar flags but with a few new one added. Let's follow the same process as earlier. We will choose Hindi file next, for which we got unsatisfying results. Okay, we get word count and line count. Let's check it. I will take you over the same file in the notepad, and as you can see, we got correct output in terminal, which is 2 lines, and correct words count. But let's see what happens if we use GWC tool with kanji, hangul, and emojis file, which doesn't follow the traditional way of English writing. We will type it one by one. First, we will go with kanji file. gwc kanji.txt. Okay, so we are getting some interesting results over here. Let's try with another file. Second is hangul, and the last one is emoji file. Perfect. We are observing here that the line count issue is fixed and they are completely accurate. But one thing will bug you, that we are getting some different kind of output for the words. In kanji, we got word count as 2. In hangul, it is 13, and for emoji, it is again 2. Let's verify it. I will open the kanji file again. Okay, it doesn't seem like we have only 2 words here. For hangul, it is saying 13 words over here in terminal. Let's go back to the file and see what we get. Alright, it looks like it doesn't have 13 words, it is more than that. And last, we are left with emoji file. For emojis, in terminal is showing us 2 words. Let's open this file. These doesn't seem like the words to me. Plus, it doesn't have only 2 emojis. Why we are getting wrong outputs? Well, for these languages, character count suits better, because these don't use the standard space to define the words boundaries, while hangul use space sometimes. The traditional tools still fail to decode the structure meaning of the words in Asian typography. The initial definition of the word count, as I told earlier, WC algorithm is that if some characters without spaces is sitting between the 2 spaces, is considered as a word. But it doesn't apply to these scripts which doesn't have that much of spaces. Earlier I showed you the character count using -m in the WC tool. It was somewhere here. We used command wc-m english.txt and we received a character count over here. What actually WC tool character count does is that it includes every single spaces, tabs and new lines as character, giving you an inflated number. What I did in my tool that I fixed this issue by adding this additional flag called content. But the original character count also exists in my tool with the same flag name. Now this flag content, it only counts the non-white spaces characters. So we will quickly try this same flag with the other files. I'm using the emoji file right now. Let's see what we can observe. Okay, we get the 16 characters. Let's open the emojis files to verify it and to count how many emojis are there. Down it is 6 and above it is 5, 10. Okay, it's 10. So 10 plus 6, it is 16. Well, that's a correct output in our side. One thing that you should always keep in mind that non-white space characters includes the letters, symbols, exclamation marks, periods, columns, while completely ignoring the background spaces. This gives you a true, accurate representation of the actual text containing what you have typed. We will try same with the kanji file, typing same command. Alright, it is giving me 28 characters. Now with the last file remaining, that is Hangul, for it we get around, it is showing me 66. Let's visit back to the Hangul file in Notepad, and it seems like it contains 66 characters. And for kanji, in terminal it gave us 28. So we have to count it back in this file of kanji. Down it shows me it is 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, it is 10 over here. So considering same amount over top, it will make it to be 20, and over here it is almost 8. 1, 4. Okay, so we get 8 characters. So at the end it adds up to approx 28. At last we now got the right outputs for all the files. What just now you watched was a basic working of the WC tool, both custom and original one. You are free to experiment with other files with the word counting tool, but at the end it solves my problem of wrong word count. By the way, my assignment was in English, so I don't have to worry about getting the wrong word count. At conclusion, AI is powerful, it's damn powerful, but relying on it for every single thing is something that bugs me a lot now. We shouldn't forget the legacy system that were built like 50 years ago, and when the memory was scarce. I hope we can bring that level of efficiency right now in AI, where the memory is used a lot. In my opinion, we should use more our intellect rather than relying on AI for every single things, every single task. You know, sometimes our own cool terminal you can use for very simple stuffs, just like counting the words or something else if you find any new things. So at the end, don't end up in my situation. It was pretty dumb, you see, and I got a backlog on it. So that's a pain in my heart. Well, I will be bringing more breakdowns of the product and tools intertwined with the stories. And till then, use these amazing tools for your own benefit. Stay productive rather than just writing the prompt all day. This was my first technical cum animation video, and if you find it funny or informative, you can like it. And if you feel generous to support me, you can always subscribe and share my videos with your friends. Do comment and let me know what you liked in this video and what I could have done to improve the video. So till then, be happy, be curious, and keep exploring. I will meet you in the next other videos, and that's it. Peropeko is signing off. Janet.